shout out for this evening comes from me, and it is for the Cult of Dusty. And he is on YouTube under the same name. He has he has really funny videos. He calls himself the People's Atheist. He's like Crystal was talking about earlier. People down in the South are rednecks. Well, he is a redneck. He is an atheist redneck, and he is hilarious. If you think if I swear a lot, oh hell no. He is way worse than I am. But he makes fun points, and he is in your face. So if you're out there on Twitter, and if you're not on Twitter, why don't you give the Cult of Dusty a follow? That's CULTOFDUSTY, and give him a shout out and tell him you heard him on the show. And give him a follow on his YouTube channel, and DM him on YouTube and let him know you heard him on the show as well. All right, let's get into our question of the week.
Excuse me. I have a question. I have a question. I have a question, sir. What are you doing? I'm asking a question.
Our question from last week was, what was your favorite Halloween candy? We had one reply, and that was from Wizard of Todd, and he said his favorite candy was eye candy. My favorite candy for Halloween when growing up was some of the skimpy outfits the girls were able to get away with wearing on that day. My eyes kind of tended to wander a little bit around too, like, ooh, what is that?
Oh man!
Of course, I was 7 at the time, and girls were kind of a new thing for me. I was like, ooh.
You matured early.
Yes, I matured real early. What was that, Crystal?
I said started early. He said matured early.
Oh, started early, matured early. Either way, it's the same thing.
Great minds think alike.
Yes. Our question for as a matter of fact, before we get into our question, I actually as I was editing the show, I actually never got the chance to answer this question for last week because we kind of put the show was a little bit out of our order. My favorite candy when I was younger, it's not around anymore. It actually took me over a year of doing research just to try to remember what the candy was, because it's not made anymore, and try to remember what it was and try to find it. And I just happened to come across it about 7-8 years ago. It was called the Marathon Bar. It was looked like a lattice work, and all it was just chocolate and caramel inside. And it was really long. It was about a package about 6 inches long, and that's all it was, just a little bit of caramel and chocolate coating. It was so good. And what's really interesting was that little candy history, because I actually, like I said, I researched this. The Snickers bar that we have today, the Marathon Bar was the forerunner to the Snickers bar today. They added peanuts in the whole nougat thing there. So at least that's what the website said, as I recall saying. So it was really kind of cool. Anyway, our question for this week is from Joe. And Joe said, if you were to drink a 40 on a stoop with 3 historic people, who would they be, and what would you want to talk about? Joe, if you're getting drunk, kicking back with a 40 with 3 historic people, who would they be, and what would you want to talk about?
We wouldn't be kicking back with a 40. We'd be holding down the stoop.
That stoop's gonna fly away without us sitting on it. So who'd you want to...
3 historic people. I would pick Theodore Roosevelt, Thomas Jefferson, and Benjamin Franklin.
Benjamin Franklin, really? You think he'd kick back with a 40?
Oh yeah. He was a party animal.
Oh yeah, he was, wasn't he?
He went to France, and he was just like, America. No, he was awesome.
Yes, he was. He was kind of a party animal.
Yeah, totally. He enjoyed the French wine, so I don't know if he'd like a 40 or not. And Thomas Jefferson too is a big fan of French wine, so I doubt he would like a 40. And I don't think Roosevelt really drank. But that being said, I would love to talk to those 3 guys, because Jefferson and Franklin, I would ask them. I'd be like, so why'd you put the word creator in the Declaration of Independence?
Yeah.
What were you thinking?
What were you thinking?
And then I would be like, so Jefferson, what specifically does the First Amendment mean? No, really, I mean, spell it out, because I'm recording this.
Yeah, exactly.
And Roosevelt, I'd be like, so what was it like being a cowboy on the frontier and getting into bar fights and stuff? Tell me. And I think he would be the most interesting to talk to. He'd have the most manly of stories.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Crystal, if you were drinking a 40 and getting blitzed on the stoop with 3 historic people. Who would they
holding down the stoop?
And she's holding down the stoop too. Who would it be, and what would you talk about?
I am a lady. I do not get blitzed. Thank you very much.
Anybody drinks that much, they get blitzed.
But we would be having margaritas on my front porch.
Margaritas? Okay.
Mm-hmm. So if I were going to have margaritas on my front porch, actually I've got 3 kind of, just random varied people here. I would like to have Oprah on here. I don't care. She's not that historic, but I would love, she's always been somebody that I would love to talk to and love to meet. And I just find her life fascinating, how she came from absolutely nothing into this gazillion-dollar empire that she runs now, and a powerful woman, and I just think I find her fascinating. I would like to talk to Clara Barton.
Clara Barton. I'm not familiar with that name.
Clara Barton is the founder of the Red Cross.
Oh, okay.
She's known as the Angel of the Battlefield during the Civil War. And I just, as a nurse, find that interesting. I would love to know her experience, actually, just hear her experience. And the other person I'd like to have on my front porch with a margarita is Jesus. And I would love to know the answers.
Well, then you'd still have 2 people there. I'm just kidding.
Jesus would be there having a margarita with me.
Just don't tell him where the nails are. Shh.
I trust.
I didn't even figure biblical characters. Considering that, I would pick Jesus, Moses, and maybe Job. But
Job?
Job, yeah, I'd be afraid though. Like if he had too much to drink, he might try to have sex with me or something.
Then you'd still be sitting there all by yourself, then, Joe.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, fables. For myself, if I was sitting on drinking a 40, getting blitzed, and well, actually for me, getting drunk is almost a near impossibility. Who would I be, and what would we talk about? I was thinking about this today. I would have some scientists, because I would love to see some scientists get blitzed. Madame Curie would be one, because she discovered radium, and I'd like to pick her brain and see what she has on her, what led her down that path. The second person would be Cleopatra, because she's supposed to have been, all so sexy and everything. And the third one, I think have to be Sacagawea, because she's famous for the coin. And it's like, what was going through her mind when, showing those people around. And since everybody was getting blitzed, by the end of the night, I'd be having a fun time.
I love your Madame Curie. That was an excellent answer.
Well, thank you. But the whole, male chauvinist pig thing just went right over your head, though.
Yeah, but like your horns are showing on.
My horns are showing tonight, so, I have an excuse.
Yeah.
So if you have an answer for if you're drinking a 40, holding down the stoop, and getting yourself blitzed with 3 historic people, who would they be, and what would you like to talk about? Leave a comment here in the section below on YouTube, and we'll read those next week on the show, or leave a comment at packardpokesat.wordpress.com, and we'll get those on the show next week, or send them out to us on Twitter or whatever, and we'll get those as well.